For the first time on eFootball, Alexander Pato and another version of Del Piero, also Adriano. Let's talk about it. So we go another Del Piero, this one with acceleration burst and blitz curler, while the Fox in the Box one was blitz curler and momentum dribbling, or I think other way around. One of them, the other one has dribbling and the other one has acceleration burst. But either way is a good combination. Now, stats-wise, of course, the previous Fox in the Box Del Piero having a higher weak foot, it's a game changer. However, this one stats-wise slightly could be better too, even though the Fox in the Box one has higher acceleration as well and higher balance. But this one, I think, in terms of set piece, got better stats. But the playing style and what makes a big difference. So yeah, the new Juventus one has momentum dribbling, and the previous one has acceleration burst. So having Karl-Heinz on the corner, he might come. You may want to wait for him, especially if you have Del Piero already. Unless you're a big fan of Alexander Pato, you want to get him. Can't compare him to Karl-Heinz, really. There's something magical about Karl-Heinz that I cannot compare him. But I would say Pato easily top 5, top 10 striker right now. And same thing with Adriano. This one, stats-wise, might be better. Adriano's problem is the balance, and they definitely do Adriano bad every single year. And I think most of us, we use Adriano for the nostalgia. Otherwise, there are so many better cards that suits the game as meta. This Adriano could be week 1 honeymoon. So far, it has impressed me. I'm happy with it. I don't know about you guys. And I think the phenomenal finisher would have been a better skill, but also taking advantage of bullet heading. The problem with bullet heading is like blitz curler. If you do 5 of them, 2 or 3 is going to be wide, or is going to be powerless, or is going to be inaccurate. That's how they nerf things. So that doesn't look too OP, so that little Timmy doesn't cry pay to win all the time. Now, as you can see, Adriano, Del Piero, Pato, and I also still have the previous Del Piero. Usually don't like keeping identical cards, but different playing style does make a big difference. I think goal poacher is always an ideal meta playing style, and very often strikers without playing style. Nobody likes Fox in the Box because they drop if you use them with a goal poacher, maybe as a lone striker. But certain cards are obviously reasonable, like Ibrahimovic. For me, Fox in the Box are just, for me, ideal Fox in the Box players should be tall and strong. But there are some exceptional cards. I think Jared Muller I'm quite happy with. This Del Piero I was happy with. But for some reason with this Del Piero, it's like his stats are incredible, but it doesn't reflect their ability in the pitch in a sense. So at the moment, I've got Del Piero like this. I've tried him for a couple of games. So far, yeah, I would say absolutely game changer. In terms of second booster, I think it just depends where you, obviously you're going to use him as a goal. So for a second booster, I'd probably go with Striker's Instinct. And in terms of his skills, at the moment I gave him Soul Control, one-touch pass, dip and shot was just random. But I think chip shot control, acrobatic finishing, one-touch pass. Some people like gamesmanship. I like to give gamesmanship to players who has low balance. I don't think Del Piero struggles from that at all. But if you like special double touch, then you can give him flip-flap as well, alongside with soul control, since he's already got double touch. As for Adriano, I went with a level of extreme physicality for hidden. I want to try to see how good his hidden is. I think when it comes to the second booster, I went with aerial. Some people went with free kick taken. Some people went with finishing or something more focused on the technique. You cannot make a clunky guy agile. It's impossible. But sometime when the game wants, you can do Ankara Messi with Haaland, especially in a free team. As for his skills, of course, I gave him with double touch, full flap, cut behind and turn, chip soul control, acrobatic finishing. And I think these are the must-have. But I'll probably replace cut behind and turn or chip shot control with one-touch pass. I think that's the more important skill he must have. So ideally, double touch, acrobatic finishing, one-touch pass is a must. As for Pato, I'm trying him like this at the moment. I usually like speed to be less than dribbling because I prefer running with the ball. But since he's a goal poacher, often it's going to be situations where he's going to make runs without the ball. So I went with speed for him, trying him like this at the moment. And often I drop his dribbling, give him 95 finishing. If you want to do any fancy finishing in a sense, 90 finishing is okay for tap-ins and simple finishing in the box, nothing fancy. In terms of his second booster, with this one is a bit, I'm undecisive, but I think Fantasista probably. In terms of his skills, flip flap, long range shooting, one touch pass is an absolute must. These are some of them I implemented directly, some of them were random and we will have to replace them. But generally speaking about those three cards, I think for people who don't have a decent goal poacher, Del Piero is an absolute game changer. Same thing Alexandra Pato. And a lot of people are happy with this Adriano as well. But however, I don't think either of them is as good as Karl-Heinz. He always remains this magical striker, and often his balance isn't even that high, but it looks like balance 99. Like with Del Piero, very often, for example, the Fox in the Box, I had him with 99 balance, and the stats didn't replicate it on the pitch very often. I'm not saying it's a bad card at all, though. So my opinion about this pack overall, if you do need good goal poachers, I think Del Piero and Pato are absolute game changers right now. They're easily top 10 strikers in the game currently. When it comes to Adriano, I think it's personal preference, and most people choose it for nostalgia. And I've tried to simplify my views when it comes to these players, because there's so many things goes beyond the logic of what we care for, and in terms of tactics, ability, and stats. Hope you find the video useful. Till next time.